So this is the great New York Public Library. It's one of like the largest libraries in the whole country. And as you can see here, it's really a big place. Originally, it was built on a water reservoir, and but they decided to have like a really nice library instead. You can see they would never, the way it's constructed, there's no way they would build any building like this now. But it's a really great construction, and you can see everything around here. It's like it's in at the crossroads of 42nd and Times Square. Excuse me, 42nd and 5th Avenue. So you can see all the buildings around here. You know, it's just amazing when you see this. And there's like Times Square in the distance. You can just see it where that tall building is with the spire on top. That's exactly where Times Square is. You can see the lights flashing in the distance. And you can see how the library is right here, just a couple blocks away. But it's really a great location. A lot of people really enjoy it. They have like a great reading room inside the library. And then so many people from New York and from the surrounding areas come here just to kind of relax inside. Great research area. It's one of those undiscovered treasures of New York. A lot of people, as I said before, for like Grand Central, they live in New York, but they really don't take the time to kind of see the different parts of New York. And here you can see like the exterior of the library. You know, it's like such a beautiful exterior. Huge. Just simply huge. And it's very nice when people are able to kind of see the library. And I think it's like, it's really enjoyable going inside. It's such an adventure. So old and so well maintained inside. And as I said, one of those treasures of New York City. And people really have learned to appreciate it. And you can see how well maintained it is. And it's also, for some other people visiting New York, not for New Yorkers of course, but for the visitors, it's a big tourist site. A lot of tourists love to come here. And you'll see as I bring you to the center of the building that it's so well done. I mean, you would think that this was like a palace almost, and it's almost built that way. And here you can see how wonderful it is just to take a look on the outside and just look at the magnificent structure of the whole building, how it's built. Of course, as I said earlier, there's no way they can build something like this now. It would just be so costly that they couldn't justify the expense. But at the time, in the early 1900s, I believe it was like 1914, that was when you had the robber barons. And when they, to themselves, they didn't really want to spare any expense, because something like this was a magnificent statement to the grandeur of New York. And don't forget, around the 1800s, 1850, Philadelphia was the largest city in the US. And from that point on, New York started surpassing Philadelphia. So 1914, when they built this library, that was when New York had already become the largest city in the country. So going with the times and going with the way people thought, a lot of the very wealthy people of New York probably said that they wanted to create a library commensurate with the grandeur of New York. And you can see how they really didn't spare any expense. Just look at the architecture and how everything is done here. And it's, as I said, it's in a wonderful location. We'll just take a little more of a walk around. You can see here during the summertime, they really encourage people to sit around, and they've also created a number of cafes for people to just to buy things and to increase the business activity of the area. And because it's in such a public location, the police have a very high visibility here. So it's very, very safe. And you might see some people just hanging out, but it is still very safe. And the building right in front of us is the HSBC headquarters in the US, just for the US. And it looks like an old building, but there's actually an HSBC tower above there, about 50 stories tall. And we'll just take another look around just to see what it looks like on this side. You know, you can see how there's still like a little park here. And you can see there, even more parts of it. And then when we walk around, you can see, like in the back area, how
there's even more space. There's a park in the back area right behind the library called Bryant Park. And the Bryant Park area for years was known for having fashion shows there every 6 months. However, the mayor decided to move it to Lincoln Center. So now Bryant Park is more used for ice skating in the wintertime, and also as a great place for people to enjoy during the summertime. And in the summertime, Bryant Park, again, which is right behind this big structure here, is also used to show free films. So you have about 5,000 people show up, and they make sure they have a space on the lawn. Usually it requires them to come about 2 or 3 hours early. And usually the films are not like your first run films. They're the films that have been around for like 30 or 40 years. But I think people choose to spend the 3 hours to come out early and reserve their spot by just placing a blanket on the lawn in order for the environment and the ambience of being in a park on a nice Monday, because they always have the events on a Monday. And so just to be with friends. Of course, the movies are like old movies, like The Wizard of Oz, or movies from the 40s and 50s. But that really doesn't bother people. They really just enjoy coming to this park. And you can see how there's like all these other buildings right here. There's also a place called the Bryant Park Hotel, which is refurbished. And during Fashion Week, it was a very big spot for people to be in, because they have something called the cellar bar right underneath in the basement level of the Bryant Park Hotel. And that's very popular with celebrities, even now, because they treat the celebrities in a very nice way. It's very low key, and I've seen a few celebrities there, and it's a very nice situation for a lot of the people just to go there. And here in the distance, you can take a look. This is the Bryant Park Hotel. That was completely refurbished and done in a very nice way. And as I said, in the basement they have something called the Bryant Park Bar. And here you can see how, they've done a very good job with the Bryant Park in the back of the library. They've made it a lot more commercial, and that's really what the New York City wanted, because they wanted to have a way for the park to pay for itself. And one of the ways to do that was to more commercialize it, and to allow for these eateries to make money, to have people enjoy the summertime. And you can see here, it's the sign, "Welcome to Bryant Park." So it's like a very nice park guidelines, and really a great venue. You can see here all the people just sitting down for the cafe. And then this is like a eatery, a restaurant, where a lot of times people want to be there. And it has a second floor, which allows for great outdoor eating. And also, as you see, it's covered so that if it rains, it's not really a problem for people. They can really still enjoy the entire ambiance of the park. And here we're just going to take a quick look at the park itself, just to see what it looks like. This is just for everyone's benefit, just so when they come to New York, they can kind of get an idea of what it's like. And it's a very nice city to come to, and very enjoyable seeing everything. You can see how it's about 9 o'clock right now on August 5th, and a beautiful summer day. But you see all the people who are just out, just enjoying the great lawn. And this is where they typically have the movies, and this is where people have to reserve their spot. And isn't it nice just to be in the middle of a crowded city? And that, in the distance, is where they have the screen. So they just close it up, and it becomes one big white screen. And everyone who's here can watch the movie that's 30 or 40 or 50 years old. And again, here's the restaurant, just to give people a better idea. The restaurant right behind the library that we were just at. And they really did a great job at commercializing this to make it really fun for people to be in the park. And it's more of the business mind of the mayors who ran the city for the last 20 years. Mayor Giuliani and Mayor Bloomberg. And there is the Bank of America Tower. It's 50% owned by Bank of America, 50% owned by the Durst family. And there's another building in the distance there, the taller building. Well, the building that was built as one thing, but then they added some height to it, and they made it into an office tower. You can see how there, and it's like it's really changed. The whole Times Square area and this 6th Avenue and 42nd Street has changed so dramatically in the last 30 years, which has made it very popular for a lot of people to come and just enjoy the city. And this has encouraged people to come back into the city and just be around here. And for a while, 30 years ago, it was very frightening for people to be in the city, but slowly they realized that it was a nice area to be in, and they wanted to come back. And it's a great thing for everyone. And this is the HBO building here, and excuse me, this is the HBO building here. That's the Grace building right there. You know, it goes up, but HBO is in this corner building here, and you can just see it in the distance, like with the glass. They're the ones who every summer sponsor the free movies in the park. Free movies, as I said, with this tower there. So now you have a great little view of Bryant Park and also the public library, which is a great asset to New York City. And if you come to New York, you should really take a look at it. And even if you don't come to New York, it's good to look into it.